There's another man whose observations I came across that I want to share with you. And his name is Max Planck. Now you may be saying, who is Max Planck? Max Planck was given the Nobel Prize in Physics many years ago in Stockholm for his work on the atom. He, along with Einstein, was considered to be one of the greatest scientific minds on the planet. Here's what Max Planck had to say. As he accepted the Nobel Prize, these were his words. As a man who has devoted his whole life to the most clear-headed science, to the study of matter, I can tell you, as the result of my research about atoms, this much. There is no matter as such. All matter originates and exists only by virtue of a force which brings the particle of an atom to vibration and holds this most minute solar system of the atom together. We must assume, now listen to a greatest scientist on the planet, we must assume behind this force the existence of a conscious and intelligent mind. This mind is the matrix of all matter. Now, that is very, very powerful evidence.
The understandings in terms of Western science that this intelligent field exists in late 1990s, early 2000s is when the experiments actually confirmed what Max Planck in 1944 stated. The father of quantum physics, Max Planck, actually said that the matter that we see in our world doesn't exist. It says the stuff we're made out of doesn't even exist, and the world that we see doesn't exist the way we believe it does. What he said was what we see as matter is here because of the existence of what he called a conscious and intelligent mind, and these are his precise words. And he followed that statement by saying that underlying this mind is the matrix of all matter. And this is the coin he termed in 1944. Of course, the movie series was based on the studies that came afterward, but it's actually been around since the mid-20th century. So this field, the matrix, or the divine matrix as it now is being called, is recognized as the field of intelligent, non-conventional energy. It doesn't work the way electricity or broadcast energy works. And perhaps that's one of the reasons it's taken so long for science to catch up with the fact that this is there, because our equipment isn't built to detect this kind of energy. On the one hand, the other hand, these ancient indigenous cultures, they detected it through the equipment of their bodies. They understood how to sense and feel and work and move in this field.
So the point I'm making is the deeper you go in the structure of natural law, the less material, the less inert, the less dead the universe is, the more alive, the more conscious the universe becomes. Then when you get to the foundation of the universe, the unified field or superstrength field, it's simply a field of pure being, pure intelligence. Intelligence because it's the fountainhead of all the laws of nature. All the fundamental forces, all the fundamental particles, all the laws governing life at every level of the universe have their unified source in the unified field. That makes the unified field the most concentrated field of intelligence in nature. Non-material, dynamic, self-aware intelligence. Those are the properties of the unified field. Physics has really stumbled upon the field of consciousness, pure subjectivity.
at the basis of the objective reality of matter. Physicists have really probed beyond the limits of matter and are into the exploration of the fundamental intelligence that gave birth to the universe, fundamental intelligence that governs the universe.
That we're bathing in a fundamental energy that's at the source of all of creation. And actually, this was known by many ancient civilizations all around the world in earlier time, and then was kind of lost through the advancements of physics, and I think we're coming back to it now.
Tonight's talk is consciousness, creativity, and the brain. And if you have a golf ball-sized consciousness, when you read a book, you'll have a golf ball-size understanding. When you look out, a golf ball-size awareness. And when you wake up in the morning, a golf ball-size wakefulness. But if you could expand that consciousness, then you read the book, more understanding. You look out, more awareness. And when you wake up, more wakefulness. It's consciousness. And there's an ocean of pure, vibrant consciousness inside each one of us. And it's right at the source and base of mind, right at the source of thought, and it's also at the source of all matter. This pure consciousness is called by modern physics the unified field. It's at the base of all mind and all matter. And they now say, modern science says, all of matter, everything that is a thing, emerges from this field. And this field has qualities like bliss, intelligence, creativity, universal love, energy, peace.
Everything in the universe is really nothing but that. Planets, trees, people, animals, we're all just waves of vibration of this underlying unified superstring field. On the physical level, you and I are separate. But at deeper levels, we have a common source. And that is the unified field, the scientifically discovered unified field. There's the source of you and the source of me, the source of gravity, the source of electromagnetism, the source of quarks, the source of leptons. Everything in the universe is a common source. So if we look at things at the deepest possible level, we ultimately discover one unified universal reality, of which you're a wave, of which I'm a wave. We're all just the different vibrational frequencies, the natural reverberant frequencies of this one universal unified field. Our whole universe is just a symphony. The various harmonics and fundamentals and overtones of one universal field, one universal ocean of consciousness in motion.
Because it showed them very clearly that consciousness is fundamental in the universe, in the evolution of reality. To try and pretend you have a model of reality, to try and pretend that you have a theory of everything, when you have no remote clue how to explain consciousness, obviously is fraught with frustration and will not lead to anything. And that's why spirituality and science strengthen each other tremendously. And by spirituality, what I mean is the admission that consciousness, soul, spirit is fundamental in this universe.
often say that, look, scientific evidence for God is already here. That's given, because so much evidence now exists in so many diverse phenomena, in psychology, in biology, in medicine, and physics, of course, has quantum measurement. So we can rest that question aside. God is already proven scientifically, both theory and experiment.
Most people define themselves by this finite body, but you're not a finite body. I mean, even under a microscope, you're an energy field. What we know about energy is this. You go to a quantum physicist and you say, what creates the world? And he or she will say, energy. Well, describe energy. Okay, it can never be created or destroyed. It's always was, always has been. Everything that ever existed always exists. It's moving into form, through form, and out of form. Okay, great. You go to a theologian and you ask the question, what created the universe? And he or she will say, God. Okay, describe God. Always was and always has been, never can be created or destroyed, all that ever was, always will be, always moving into form, through form, and out of form. You see, it's the same description, just different terminology.
So now how do you define God?
To me, God is indescribable. We don't have words and concepts, but it's in part understanding the energy that connects all of us together. It's a clue into the nature of God. One of the first comments that Catherine made was, they tell me, masters, they tell me there are many gods, for God is in each of us. That tells me that God is in each atom and subatomic particle of our being. That's our essence. We're distilled from that. But we can't describe it because it has qualities that we don't even have words for. This is like beyond the dog whistle. You have to have this entire spectrum. But it's beyond the highest energy that we can imagine. But it possesses God. Compassion, incredible compassion, omniscience, wisdom, love, all of those qualities and more.